Today, we're talking about one small thing you can do right now to guarantee today will be a great day.
Life is beautiful.
But before we get into today's episode, it is Friday, which is the fifth day of the work week, which means it's time for a quick episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Today's trivia question is, if a right triangle has legs of 3 centimeters and 4 centimeters, what is the length of the hypotenuse? Do you remember this?
I remember like the shortcut was 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 5.
You don't remember the actual formula? You're just going to use the shortcut?
Yeah.
Well, the answer is 5. 5-Star Friday. It is also 5-Star Friday, which means it's the one time a week where we ask you to take 10 seconds to do us a huge favor and leave us a 5-star review wherever you tune into the podcast. That way we can keep growing this thing. We can get other people, when they come to the podcast for the first time, to see how many awesome reviews we have, to see how great you think the podcast is, so that they can start listening and we could just keep growing this family of people that are getting their minds right and have this elite mindset.
I'll give you a little Dumbledore clap. Definitely improved from last week's 5-Star Friday.
I took it personal when you said my trivia question was ass.
This one is definitely more intellectual.
So anyway, if you want to know the equation, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Anyway, yesterday we talked a lot about going the extra mile, how going above and beyond can really create these extraordinary returns in your life.
Yeah.
How it doesn't take very much of going above and beyond to create these huge returns. So I took action on that. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go above and beyond by texting my wife this message. I said, hey, babe, I just want to say I love you so much. You're the best wife ever, and I appreciate all the little things you do for me and for both of our families. You're truly a special human being, and I don't take that for granted.
Nice.
And she said, wow, with the crying emoji. I love you too. Thank you so much. This made my whole day, with about 600,000 hearts attached to it.
Nice.
And I said, love you, babe. You're the best. And it was such a beautiful thing. It really was. It took me 10 seconds to write that text, 10 seconds of going above and beyond. And it made her entire day, and it strengthened our connection. And when I went home later that day, you can feel that little 10-second moment, that little 10-second act of kindness created such a deeper connection between the two of us. Such a little act doing so much.
That's beautiful.
And I said, you know what? We believe wholeheartedly, we have a whole nonprofit around this concept that the secret to living is giving. But I feel like we don't really live it as often as we should. This idea that we should be spreading these little acts of kindness every day, because they really go such a long way. They really do. So I wanted to make a episode today about the power of small acts of kindness.
Yeah, to get some leverage over ourselves to keep doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
It reminds me of this viral image I've been seeing go around on Instagram with the spoons in heaven and hell. Have you seen that?
Have you seen this? Have you heard this?
Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't.
Basically, it's this image where there's heaven and hell, heaven on top, hell on the bottom, and these 4 or 5 people have these gigantic spoons in there.
Like 6 foot long spoons.
6 foot long spoons, right? So they are unable to feed themselves with the spoon. Well, in heaven, the people are using those spoons to feed someone else, and they're all smiling. And in hell, the people are using the spoons and trying to hold them really high in the air to try to feed themselves, and they're all miserable. So it was just a very powerful image of what you're articulating, which is the secret to living is giving, is that when we serve others, we really serve ourselves.
Yeah, that's a great image. You can really easily see that, and it's so simple. I think another thing I want to touch on in this episode quickly is you really never know when somebody needs that act of kindness that you're giving them. Like, I came across a story where there was a guy who was going to the bridge to jump off of it. He wanted to commit suicide. And they found a letter that he left behind that said, I'm walking to the bridge now. If one person while I'm walking to this bridge smiles at me, I won't jump. And he ended up jumping because nobody had smiled. So you just never know
Wow.
when the person that
That's
you are
a-
being kind
that's a
to,
really,
as something as
really-
small as a smile.
That's a really powerful story to get some leverage over ourselves, to really be aware of the energy we're putting out to strangers every day.
100%.
Because that, like you said, a smile literally costs nothing. There is nothing to it. All you got to do is smile, and you can make someone's day. It's really powerful. I mean, you can obviously go above and beyond that. You can give people a compliment. You can be gracious and say thank you and all that. But as simple as a smile to save someone's life, that is a powerful ass story.
Yeah. I want to go into Mike's science corner before we wrap this up for a second. So everyone knows like the science between the science behind the helper's high. Like
Yeah.
when you help someone else, you get these endorphins, yada yada. So I didn't want to bring that into this episode because everyone knows that already. But there's another study out of UT Austin and Chicago called the Kumar and Epley Gratitude Letter Study, where they had people send short gratitude texts to people, very similar to the one I sent my wife, and then predict how the recipient would feel. Senders consistently underestimated how surprised and happy recipients would be and overestimated how awkward it would feel to send that text message. So we're going to wrap this up with a very simple call to action. It's not just to do a random act of kindness, but it's to do the easiest one with the biggest return, which is to text someone and let them know how much you appreciate them, but make sure you tell them why. So it's, hey, blank, I just want to let you know I really appreciate having you in my life. You blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank of whatever it is that you truly appreciate about them as a human being. And you will be shocked at how much that makes their day and then how good that makes you feel. Because I did this with my wife and it was really game changing. It changed my whole day, changed the whole vibe of the weekend. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So little thing goes a long way. Be kind.
Small acts of kindness. Yeah, everyone, at the end of the day, everyone's going through some shit we know nothing about. So let's be kind.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have an amazing, amazing weekend filled with lots of kind acts. Love you.
And we appreciate you. Bye-bye. Peace.